It's almost scary how regular these Hiya G.I. Joe action figures are now being released. It seemed like not long ago, we were waiting and waiting and waiting, and it was taking forever to get anything, and now all of a sudden, it's like we're getting them once every month now, and you know, I'm okay with that. As you can see, we've got Beachhead here, and here's the card art over there, as you can see. I like this a lot. I think this is actually pretty cool. I've been enjoying the card art on these figures quite a bit. It's from Hiya, and up here in the top right, you can see a cat took a bite out of it. You want to be careful if you've got cats and action figures and packaging, because cats don't care about packaging. Back here you see there's promotional images. We've been seeing these online for quite a while, for a long time now. Lots of various information down here, but you know, we don't really care about most of that, at least most of us don't. We care about the figure and getting this thing out, so let's do that. He's off the card, so let's take a look at all these accessories first. Here's his backpack. It's all decked out in black, and it's got a peg back there so you can actually plug it into the back of the figure. A big blaster that has some paint wear applied. Even down here you can kind of see some blue highlights. A small handgun, and if you missed it, that's alright because it was tucked down here in his right hip holster. A crossbow with no arrow because, you know, that's useful. A knife, and if you missed this one as well, that's alright again because it was tucked and hidden down here in his left leg sheath. A red beret, and I know most of you don't like this because the original one didn't have a wearable one. You still get it anyway for those who do like it. An extra right hand that has a tighter C grip. A left hand that seems to be a bit of a fist. And this Battlefield figure stand that can be connected to other Battlefield figure stands from the Hiya G.I. Joe collection with these two included I-beams. Here's one to show you. So now let's take a look at the figure. This just might be my most favorite Hiya G.I. Joe figure thus far because he moves in all the right places. His head rotates all the way around. His arms rotate all the way around. He does have this butterfly joint that's kind of a lighter green. It seems to be in there, but it moves around pretty good for a 4-inch figure. His arms come up this far for a T-style pose. Just a little bit there. A bicep rotation, double pinless elbow. That's pretty cool. A ball joint wrist that we're getting used to at this point. And there is a swivel at the waist, lower torso. I'm not sure, without taking off this vest, well, we can't take off this vest. I'm not really sure if there's anything more like another cut in there because this vest is so big. We just can't look up in there. It would be pointless articulation anyway. If you want him to do the splits, he can go about that far. If you want him to sit, he can sit actually, I think, pretty well. Get that head back up there. So he's got these ball joints here in the crotch area. He also has drop down hips. So like you can bring his legs down that far. You can tuck them back up in there. And that promotes splitting and other articulation goodness, because if the hips or the legs are up in there, it'd be much more difficult for him to bend his legs. He does have a thigh cut right here, and it's a little bit difficult to actually get this to work because these ball joints like to twist so well. So they work. I mean, you can get him to articulate just about any which way you want to with those legs. He has a double pinless knee joint right there. There's no boot cut through, well, the boot area, but he does have a hinge and a pivot down at the ankles. And if you want him to lean back, he can lean back about that far. And if you want him to lean forward, that's about as far as I can get him to go. But the pivot is awesome. You can get him then into some cool little action poses if you want him to do so. And it looks like we've had a costume malfunction or uniform malfunction. There are these connectors, the holsters and the pouches and the sheaths that can slide around and I think slide off. Well, maybe the sheath can't, but those two could. If you pop this figure apart, you could actually take these off. I know there are some people out there a little dismayed about the colorings on this figure, and at first I looked at it and I thought it looked a little goofy, but in hand, I think this figure looks really pretty good color-wise. The thing I was most concerned about was the gray up here for the mask and the gray over here. It seemed a little bit overpowering on the pictures online, and I don't know if I can help show a different different look, or if this is going to look just about the same online. This also seemed to be a bit of a too light of a brown in the vest area, and so that was concerning. But in person, this figure actually looks really good. He looks so much better in person than he does online, and if I can't convey that, then it's just going to be one of those things that you might have to give it a try. And if you don't know where to get these figures, you can pick them up at cooltoysclub.com. That's where I get my figures from, and they have been mailing out right when they become available, so it's worked out really well. I've now picked up, I think this is Hiya figure number 5 that has come out, and I've picked up a few Joy Toy things from them, and I have a couple Ninja Turtle Joy Toy things on pre-order with them, and I would completely trust them. They've given me no reason to not. So let's go ahead and start gearing this dude up. So do you remember the problem we had with Firefly in the last video that we talked about Hiya G.I. Joe? Well, the peg was tight, it wouldn't really go in, and when it did go into Snake Eyes, it ripped out. This seems tight, and I don't quite see where the hole is, but you can... Yeah, I don't see... There, we scoot that vest over a little bit. You want to make sure you're actually looking at what you're doing with these figures. These are not toys. I'll just say that. As much as I love these action figures, and I think all action figures should be toys, it's just the bottom line is some are not made to be toys. And so I would say these ones are definitely not made to be toys. I think that's about as stuck in with a backpack as we can get. Probably should have done this first. The crossbow fits on the back like so. Yeah, that's kind of a bit of a wobbly scenario there. We can slide the knife back in the sheath where it was hiding in the package, like so. The handgun will go in there, right there. And then his Nerf blaster. Yes, I've seen people talk online, and we can put this on. I agree with a lot of people. I don't really like this look either, especially from the Hiya figure, because I think this beret, this red beret, is just a little bit big looking on him. I mean, he's like, where's the bagpipes almost? But yeah, I think the classified figure got it better. And since I haven't mentioned it yet, these are pretty much the exact same accessories and the exact same figure as the classified figure. As you can see right here, I decked him out and I brought him in, and you can see that, yeah, it's pretty much the exact same figure except for the deco. There are some deco changes, as in the small guy has brown pants and a brown mid vest, whereas classified doesn't. They're all pretty much one color through here. The small guy has some gray spots like the mouthpiece and all around the arms, whereas this one is light green, and light green, they changed that color up. And you know, Classified gave us a completely green knife here, and Hiya gave us a black and silver knife. So come on, at least they did that, right? And I will say I like the beret here. It's much duller, and I think it fits more appropriately than this bright, shiny beret over here. And come on, even though this is a Nerf style looking like gun, tell me that doesn't look better than what Classified did up here with this kind of a light green only. There's like nothing, no extras. It's all one color. At least this has a bit of a wash, and it has those light blue to it. So I think the Hiya figure is really awesome, and I would love to see a classified version release just like this one, as in like the coloring and the paint apps, even on the accessories. I think that would be really cool. Overall, I am very pleased with this Beachhead figure, and I think you will be too if you're enjoying this line, because as I said, I think it is the best figure thus far. We don't have a lot of room for Firefly here. It's going to line them all up so you can see all 5 of the Hiya G.I. Joe action figures thus far. There we go. We got them all in and ready to go. But I think he lines up really well. We're getting to have a really cool little collection of Hiya G.I. 1/18 scale G.I. Joe action figures. This is actually more than I thought we'd ever have. We had these two for so long, and you know, by the time Cobra Commander got out, I was starting to wonder, are these things ever actually going to release? We get these reveals, and they're just like, this is what's coming, but we're not getting any of it. Now we're getting it because there's more coming. Apparently, Flint is on the way, and Destro is about to be on the way, and so Lady J is probably going to be following next, and then Major Blood, and it's just going to be crazy. I think we're going to be getting these once every couple weeks now. Once a month. That would be, I'd be really happy with once a month if that means we get some regular releases. So this time next year, this area is going to be full of Hiya G.I. Joe figures. I'm here for it, and I'm excited about it. I hope you are too. I'll see you in the next video.